This video was sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. Okay, so I don't like the journal a ton. I mean, it's not terrible, but not really one of the rares you really want to be opening and first picking in the format. I mean, I think there's maybe some packs you would take it in, but I don't think this is one of them. I think both the Taxidermist and the Infestation Expert are pretty nice cards that I'd be happier to first pick. Yeah. It's probably the third best card in this pack. I'd probably take it before, like, Griff Rider or Flourishing Hunter. The Journal being the third best. I mean, I like the Taxidermist a little more in a format which has bombs that you want to be splashing if you can. The Expert is obviously a more impactful card overall, but I like the Taxidermist a little bit more. This is a more relevant, problematic creature as a creature on its own, but this can become a real creature late, and in the early game, it provides some really good ramp, so I like it a little more. Okay. So Catapult Fodder is pretty sweet. I've been kind of happy with it in just about any deck. You're not always going to be able to transform it in every deck, but, it's a 3-mana 1/5 at worst, and most decks can transform it. They may not be able to do it with ease, but they can, and once it transforms, it's a pretty real card. That said, we've also got some nice aggressive cards here, like the Celebrant and Drogskull Infantry. They don't have as high of a ceiling, but they have better floors than Catapult Fodder does. Our first card is green, so, that is the color pair for Catapult Fodder. So maybe I just speculate on it. It has a way higher ceiling than either of these. I think we'll take the Fodder and see what happens here. It's funny, I've had a deck that had two of these, but it was like I don't even remember what colors it was. I think it was black-white. And they were good in the deck. I had a bunch of higher toughness creatures, and I transformed them all the time. But I haven't actually had a black-green toughness deck yet. Okay, so the black cards here are okay, but nothing special, all three of those. Our rare's not a good one. It's basically unplayable. I think I'm going to take Cruel Witness here. I think it's the best card in the pack. I mean, I like the Ritual. It's nice to have removal that kills everything, but I like Cruel Witness a little more. We'll just be, you just want to be taking cards that are the best cards in packs a lot of the time early. I mean, that's one way to stay open. Some people think of staying open as only taking cards in one color, but you're doing the same thing by just taking the best card. Still staying open. And in this case, I think we probably take Flame Blessed Bolt. I do like Weaver of Blossoms. Persistent Specimen is sweet if we end up in blue-black, but the Bolt is really good in this format. There's so many creatures that it not only gets rid of, but permanently gets rid of, and it matters, or turns off their death trigger, that it's just really good. So we have one card each color so far, so we'll see where we go from here. We could take a white card here just for fun. I mean, the Griff Rider's okay, but I do think Oakshade Stalker is better, and I think it's what I'm going to take here. If you have, I think it's the best card in this pack, and I think it's what we'll take. Yep. So interesting, when we're this open, it's funny to get signposts, 2 signposts, but we're not really in the deck for either of them, despite the we don't have any white cards, that's the one color we don't have, funnily enough. So the Phalanx is a sweet combo with Catapult Fodder, but I think it's a little too cute to force until you have, like, 2 Catapult Fodders. Then things start to get interesting. I like Apprentice Sharpshooter. It's kind of where I'm leaning. I do think Sigardian Paladin is better, is the thing. You know what? I'm going to take the Paladin. We took our first white card. We did it. But I think it's a pretty good one. Okay, so we have some good green cards here. This is good. You do have to end up in the Werewolf deck to fully unlock it. Spore Crawler is good in any green deck. You need to be in green-red for this one to be good. I'm leaning a little towards the Crawler. Just because, if you only have like 4 werewolves or wolves, this card is not especially good. If you have a bunch, it does get a lot better. It has a very high ceiling, higher than Spore Crawler. You know what? I am going to take it. You know, keep our eyes out for wolves and werewolves. Here's another signpost. This one is the red-white signpost. And it's a good one. But, well, maybe I do take it. This pack is pretty bad otherwise. The Efficient's okay, you know, if we have paladins and stuff. Waltzer's definitely better, but we have one red card and one white card that's 2 colors, so... You know, the Millipede's not bad, but... Yeah, I think we'll take the Waltzer. We're kind of having a wacky first pack, but I think I'm okay with it. Alright, I think we take Flourishing Hunter. You know, this pushes us more in a toughnessy direction, but it can also be played in the green-white deck. It's good in all the green decks, pretty much. So, I think it's a nice pickup there. So, some playable red cards here. Like, the Statuette is pretty good if you end up with enough blood. We're not really going to get there in this deck unless the next 2 packs are crazy. The Presence is okay. Crushing Canopy is a sideboard card, and we're playing best of 1. I think I take the Presence. I think it's the best of all those things, those random things in that pack. Yeah, we'll grab Doom Dissenter here. Not a bad pickup late. Okay. Persistent Specimen's not either. We got some decent pickups if we end up with any reason to sacrifice creatures. Yeah. Okay. So, Foreboding Statue is nice. I've been pretty happy with it overall. It transforms fairly quickly, and it provides nice fixing and ramp. That said, I think we probably take Bleed Dry. Kills everything. I've been pretty happy with it overall. I think it's better than Griffwing Cavalry and Foreboding Statue, and obviously better than our land rare. So yeah, we'll take Bleed Dry here. Feels like we're leaning black-green. This is another terrible rare. Demonic Bargain. It's like maybe the worst rare in the format. Some of the others have corner cases, not that one. So this pack has many things that are tempting me. So we've got Child of the Pack, which is a great card for the red-green deck. It's just a great card in general. We've also got things like Circle of Confinement and Resistance Squad. I think these 3 cards are really what we're looking at. You know, if we end up in green-white especially, this is great. This is good in every white deck. That said, I think we probably take Child of the Pack here. It's where I'm leaning. I think it's better than these 2, and we're actually closer to making it work right now than we are these random white cards. So, let's do it. Okay. So Markov Retribution, if you end up in black-red, is pretty good. Doesn't look like that's where we're going to be. I just want an Apprentice Sharpshooter. I mean, Blood Crazed Socialite, Desperate Farmer, these things are fine, but you kind of have to end up in a deck, ideally in a deck that can actually utilize those things. Fierce Retribution's pretty good. It is pretty good. Traveling Minister also pretty nice. Yeah, it's been interesting. Nothing has really shown itself to be really open. I think I take Sharpshooter here. Ooh, okay. So another Bleed Dries here, and that's great. I do like Spiked Ripsaw. I'd like to get one. I also like Wolf Strike, but yeah, we take Bleed Dry. Okay, Bleed Dry number 3. We're living the dream. You know, we're not getting much synergy, but this, I think this pretty much locks us into black. Once you have 3 Bleed Dries, you kind of have to play black, right? I mean, so, yeah, I think we're probably leaning black-green at this point. I think that's where we're mostly leaning. We do have a little bit of fixing already. I'm trying to figure out if Whispering Wizard is worth like a splash, but I'd probably just take Gift of Fangs here. Yeah, we'll take Dawnheart Disciple. It's fine. So yeah, I think we have found our lane now. I mean, it was getting a little sketchy, but those 3 Bleed Dries in a row helped. We can splash one of these, especially if we pick up an Evolving Wilds here. The Gargantua is nice, especially when you have Doom Dissenter and Persistent Specimen. Yeah, I think we're going to actually take... we're going to take the Wilds. I think opening up the splash option is worth it. Do we want another Dissenter more than we want a Mind Leech Ghoul? I think probably. All right, here we'll take a Gargantua pretty happily. So we can splash one of these, and if we splash one of them, it's probably just Child of the Pack. Yeah. So this black-green deck, it has very little, you know, it is a toughness deck, but the payoffs for it just aren't there as much as the other color pairs are. Ooh, nice, more fixing, I'll take it. So we do have a little bit, we have one, I guess we have two toughness payoffs. We have Flourishing Hunter, and we have the Taxidermist. The Heirloom's probably a better random pickup here. That card does raise one creature's toughness, you know, but it's... I don't really want Sheltering Bough. I don't really feel like we stayed too open. Like, if you look at our deck, we have a pretty good deck overall. Like, yeah, I mean, you know, midway through that pack, it was looking a little sketchy, but... Falcon Wrath, Forebear. So this thing is good. I guess I'd probably end up taking it here. We're not going to be making blood without it, but it's still a pretty good card. I think it's a little better than Infestation Expert. I wouldn't mind a Grizzly Ritual, but with 3 Bleed Dries, maybe I don't think we really need it. I think we take the Forebear, even though we're not a great blood deck. I think it's a nice aerial threat that will churn out blood all on its own. Ooh, okay. So we have lots of high toughness creatures already. Getting the Lumberknot is really good for our deck, I think. We do need, now that we have another high toughness card, we're going to want to value high toughness cards a little more. But yeah, the Lumberknot's a good pickup for this deck. I may not even splash Child of the Pack. I mean, I could splash it and a Bolt, but that seems unnecessary. Okay. What a weird pack. So we do have 2 toughness payoffs now. Unhallowed Phalanx is getting interesting. Lantern Flare is obviously really good, but the ship has kind of sailed on us playing that. The Phalanx does get interesting. Same time, Hook Hand Mariner is just so much better. Like, on every other board state that doesn't have our big creatures. Yeah, so I think we take the Hook Hand here. I think we'll get a Phalanx if we really want one. I mean, maybe we won't. Maybe I'll regret saying that, but this pack doesn't have much for us. Survey's not good, and we're not really interested in either of these cards very much. We already have 2 of those. Do I like the Wolf more? I mean, I guess I have the 1 Wolf payoff. Yeah, I'll take the Wolf, I guess. Okay, here's another good toughness payoff. So I think I'm all about that. It's a good card anyway. So yeah, we definitely grab it. So we do have another Wolfkin Outcast here. How many wolves or werewolves does this deck currently have? 5 and 2. Like, that's probably good enough for this thing. It does have higher power than toughness, of course, unlike Weaver of Blossoms, but I think I'm interested in Wolfkin Outcast here. We're not, you know, we have like a werewolf sub-theme going on. So I think we take it. Okay, so I think we want the Sharpshooter. The high toughness is enough for me to want it more than the Scorpion now that we have 3 toughness payoffs. So I was saying we'll get a 113 if we want it, and we may end up not getting one. So we're gonna take Gift of Fangs here. Another Flourishing Hunter. I kind of doubt we play it, but it could happen. We're not going to be discarding cards much in this deck, but we're also not really interested in Rural Recruit. So it is a bit of a bummer we didn't get a random 113. It could still happen. There might be someone else in this deck. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, we have to get one, right? I mean, nobody wants them. They're not good anywhere else. But we definitely want one in this deck because we have 2 really good combos with it, and we have a 3rd, less exciting, but still pretty good combo. And 4th, actually. Flourishing Hunter is a combo with it. I think our deck turned out pretty good. I kind of don't think we're going to bother with a splash. We don't need to. We have the fixing to do it between, you know, we have a Weaver. We have a Weaver, an a Taxidermist, and an Evolving Wild, but we just, you know, even though we picked up these random signposts, they're so signposty that other than the red-green one, they all need a specific deck to do something. Well, the red-white one doesn't really, but it doesn't work in our deck, and we can't splash it anyway. So, yeah. So, we didn't really end up as an exploit deck. I don't think we have any interest in Persistent Specimen. I do kind of think we need to hold on to the Dissenters. We just don't have that many early drops, so we're probably holding on to them. We aren't in as much need of the ramp and fixing these offer, but, you know, we do have 6 drops and 5 drops, so I think it's fine to leave them in the deck. Yeah, so how much high toughness did we end up with? I think maybe we don't have as much as I would love, but we have 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. We don't actually have that much, which is not good. 5. We only have 5 cards with that, with the higher toughness and power. So this draft may have train wrecked. Let's see. Do we have any mediocre cards we want to shove in the deck because they have higher toughness and power? I mean, that's Child of the Pack. Yeah. I mean, I got kind of sidetracked. I mean, it's not... The good news is our cards that do stuff with high toughness, they're not, like, required. I didn't count the Lumberknot, incidentally. So that's 6. But still not as many as you want. Does that mean we want the Child of the Pack a little more? I mean, it's only got high toughness on the front. Higher toughness and power. Of course, the other side's just incredibly powerful. It does allow us to use our mana a little more. Yeah. So, I don't think we want Desperate Farmer in this deck. So I think we're mostly just like a black-green good stuff deck with a small toughness sub-theme. We have a lot of removal, you know, that can carry the day sometimes. Even if synergy-wise we kind of dropped the ball. Does feel like I should have grabbed another Weaver when I had the chance to have the higher toughness creature, but... Yeah, I am definitely playing the Phalanx in a deck that has stuff it can do with the high toughness. It will be sticking around. Yeah, so we could try to shove Child of the Pack into the deck. It is powerful. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And we don't exactly... Like, in terms of power, it might be the best card that we drafted. In terms of power alone. But getting rid of it isn't that easy. I mean, finding a place for it isn't that easy. So I don't think we need it. I think we just have to accept that our toughness theme isn't great. I mean, we have some stuff that'll happen. Most of the cards are good anyway and have upside. So I think I'm okay with it. Yeah. So, probably drop a Doom Dissenter. I do, you know, want to have 2 drops. Is it better to have than the Wolf? We still have plenty of Wolves and Werewolves, even if we cut it for our Outcasts, but... Yeah, so I think we cut a Dissenter. And then... Yeah, so maybe a Flourishing Hunter. I think that seems fine. Maybe I'd rather have a second Hunter than a Gargantua, though. I probably would. Yeah. All right. Okay. See how this thing goes. I'm not super hopeful, but it'll be interesting to see when we don't have a ton of synergy. So, I mean, this is a hand where this is already close to flipping, which is nice. We play turn 1 Wolf, turn 2 Dissenter. We just need one more high toughness creature, and we have them somewhere. I think all our removal and just like... I mean, I think that's going to be really good for us overall, just being like an all removal deck. Okay, so now we do have another high toughness creature. I think we attack with our wolf here. And then I think we play Taxidermist. So we're at 4 mana. They may be killing one of our creatures. Yeah, we could have used some Gluttonous Guests. That is for sure. Ooh. So I can just slam Wolfkin Outcast here. That's pretty spicy. I think that's what we do. Turn 3 Wolfkin Outcast. Pretty hard to say no to. Okay, I'm glad we can kill that. We're going to net a blood token from it first, too, which is a pretty good deal. So, yeah, we bleed dry the Purveyor. Go to combat and attack with our Outcast. Yeah, it's funny. This black-green deck has about as much of a werewolf theme as it does a high toughness theme. Oh, they can blow up our blood. I could sack it in response, and it's not like Doom Dissenter's great here. But it is a real card, and that's probably enough of a reason to just let them destroy our blood there. We have 6 mana here. That means I can play and transform our catapult fodder right away here. Yeah, that's probably what we do. Just play both of them. Just go sharpshooter, fodder, go to combat, it transforms. We swing with the Outcast, offer up the trade. May kill our catapult captain here, but that wouldn't be too heartbreaking. Should be a good time to draw like a Flourishing Hunter too. Okay. I can live with that. We have 2 creatures in our graveyard. Ooh, okay. Do we just burn this bleed dry? I think we do. Then I think we attack with both of these and play Doom Dissenter. Trying to decide if they want to sack blood first. They got rid of a Gargantua, which is kind of interesting. I guess if nothing else, I can sack the Dissenter to get a 2/2. Which is kind of funny. Well, there's our Hunter that we wanted. That's going to be big here. All right. You know, the toughness thing got there in that game. I mean, I think we'll get there enough. You know, we don't have like an insane amount of synergy, but I think this deck can flip the catapult fodder consistently enough that it'll work out. Yeah, the Taxidermist was really good there. It's true. If you play it on turn 2 and it survives and you have like a lot of gas, it's gonna do some work. I mean, that's just how it does. Yep, decent 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, 5 even. I think I'll be playing in the Arena Open. It's next, is it next weekend? If it's next weekend, I think I'll probably give it a try. This may end up eating a braid or a bolt. I'd rather it be in a braid almost, because I'd rather them burn a slightly more, a spell that costs the same, and yeah, it's a braid. And it's also one that can kill our stalker, you know, so. Ooh. Okay, so I wonder if our Gift of Fangs are going to be really bad here. Because they're probably a blood aggro deck. I mean, there's no way you run Blood Hypnotist if you're not. Markov Retribution? It's possible. We'll take the 3. Oh. Well, that was a lucky draw. No thank you. We do have 3 of them, but it was still a pretty lucky draw. Because I can play this Hunter eventually, I'm not super worried about my life total. Maybe I should be. So... yeah, Gift of Fangs is not looking good here. I think we just play Dormant Grove here. We could play the Phalanx, which will untap and be a pretty good blocker next turn. And maybe we have enough life that we can just afford to do that. Yeah, we probably do. We can also transform this right away. I don't know that we want to. Like, the counter is so good, but I can also gain 13 with Flourishing Hunter if we draw our 6th land, so... I mean, I'm liking the looks of that across the board. I really hope we draw a land, actually. We don't. I kind of have to transform it immediately this time. Just because I need the extra body, and I'm not going to have it right now. So, I think we play the Grove. Yeah, play the Grove. Go to combat. Give that a counter. Get a 3/6. Attack for 2. And end our turn. This can't even die to bleed dry now. Without some help. I mean, all I have to do is block and it'll work. They can make one creature unable to block. I guess if they have more blood, I could be in some serious trouble here if I don't draw my 6th land. Okay, so we go to 5. Not a 6th land, but at least I can kill the Hypnotist. So I can live with it. Let's attack and see what happens. We've got Vigilance on our whole board, so... do I want to do it now? Probably, because they could make blood and sack it in response, potentially. So, yeah, I think we... get rid of the Hypnotist here. So this ended up being a 4 mana, put a counter on your creature and get a 3/6, and give Vigilance to your whole board. I can live with all of that. Oh, good. Another Flourishing Hunter. I think we attack here. So if we ever draw our 6th land, there's virtually no way we lose. So that's cool. Okay. I don't think we need to use Bleed Dry here. I think we can wait. It's too bad literally every creature they've played has been a vampire. We do see a werewolf in their graveyard, but... Ooh. Every point of damage right now is concerning, so... I don't love that. Is all blood sorcery? Maybe it is. Okay, so I think we fire off Bleed Dry on the 3/3 here. Still not a 6th land. It's funny because they think we're being really lucky or something, and if we had a 6th land, this game would be completely out of reach for them. We can finish it in the air next turn, potentially, which is cool. It's going to be sad if we don't get to see ourselves gain 14 when we've had a 2/14 on the table and a Flourishing Hunter in our hand for, like, ever. It's going to be really sad. Especially if we lose. If we lose, it'll be devastating instead of just sad. He can't block, so, you know, that's not great. But it can end the game all on its own next turn. Yeah, I mean, the way this game's going, Gift of Fangs on my own vampire is likely to be more useful. But if I draw a land, I definitely slam a Flourishing Hunter and go to 18. So they may have gotten Bleed Dry mana. Okay. Well, they've got 1 red mana, so it becomes a little bit risky to put Gift of Fangs. But yeah, I think we give up our Grove Strider here. Is it greedy to hold on to my 2/14? I don't think so. It's just such a problem for our opponent. Okay, well, we're just going to go for it here. Alright, it worked. It's really sad we never got to gain all that life, but at least we won. Like I said, it would have been way worse if we lost. Yeah, Vigilance and can't block a creature is pretty funny. This is a very slow hand, and, you know, the lack of early plays, but I do think we keep it. We do have both colors of our mana now, at least. We can play the Stalker on turn 3, and then each of these the next 2 turns, which is pretty spicy, I think. That's not a bad draw. Gives us something to play here, anyway. Getting on the board is good. So I think we just take 2 here. Alright, well, hopefully here we can get the werewolf thing going. Play Outcast next turn and Outcast turn after. So I think we take 3. Yeah, that's big. Let's play our Outcast here. I may trade the first Outcast for the Hook Hand Mariner here if they give me the option. I don't love how nice their curve out was. Like, these 3 creatures early is pretty gross. You know, I bet I passed some of these and forgot about their high toughness on my turn. They would have been perfect for our deck between our 2 Outcasts and our toughness stuff. Yeah, that's a problem. We're going to be needing removal in the very near future. So if they ever let us transform, we're going to be in business. I mean, their creatures get scary when they transform too, but these will turn into cantrips, which I think is probably better than just being big and scary overall. Let's play our Sharpshooter and a Weaver. This game sure is stalling out on the ground. Yeah, Wolf Strike's about to happen, I think. Pretty spicy. Ooh. Now we go to Value Town. Okay. Let's play our Grove. I think we make our Outcast bigger because right now it can't actually block the Hook Hand Mariner and survive to tell the tale. Yeah. I guess we just play out the last card in our hand here. It's funny that we both have so many werewolves that both of us are just avoiding letting them transform. But eventually one of us is going to run out of stuff to do, and all the werewolves will transform. And I think now that they got rid of one of our Outcasts, their board's probably a little scarier. I can put a counter on the Oakshade Stalker and attack with it. I mean, that's probably where I put the counter this turn no matter what, but it's not too bad. I could also put the counter on the Disciple and attack with it here. Also not too bad. Yeah. So I could give my whole board Vigilance too if I put the counter here. Right now, I don't think we want to do it. Yeah, so let's put a counter on our Disciple and swing with it. I have to block with a real card one way or another, yeah. So they do get to draw, but I think it's fine. Thinning out their board a little bit. Feels pretty good. We have 2 cards in our graveyard now, which is good for our Taxidermist. So yeah, if I end up not drawing a land, it's gonna suck because all the werewolves will transform and they'll get to attack with theirs first. So I don't love that. And that's what they did. Good news is ours transformed, but, you know. I can kill their 2/2 here. Probably worth it. None of you get small enough for me to kill with this anyway, so I probably kill their 2/2 with it here. Yeah, I guess we do have a bunch of 2-for-1s if that's what happens. You're right. Let's go to combat. Where do we want to put this counter? 3/4 seems pretty good. Yeah. And we're not going to attack. I'm going to put Gift of Fangs on their wolf. They have a ton of mana, so, and a bunch of cards in their hand, so I don't love that. We're in top deck mode. Oh yeah, that's bad news. We do have good blocks, thanks to our Wedding Crasher. Hopefully it lives. We have 3 werewolves that we can use to block, so... So, yeah, I think we blocked that with this. Which would mean we draw a card and kill their thing. They could have a trick. No, they're going to let us draw a card. Okay, we're going to get some gas, which is good. And Evolving Wilds isn't exactly what we were hoping for, but... it can work. A flyer is a nice thing to have on this board. I don't love that it can't block, but other than that. So, if I do this, we're going to get a transformation here. But I kind of feel like it's a good idea on this board. Question is, do I just want to make this a 2/5 and hold on to the counter-making ability this card has? I mean, a 2/5 is not great on this board, so I think we kind of just have to... I think we put the counter here and transform it. We don't have any good attacks still, really. I mean, rumbling with the 5/6 isn't too shabby, I guess. That's probably what I'm going to do here. If they block, I get to draw a card. So, if they take 5, they take 5. So, works for me, I think, overall. Let's sack our wilds before this goes down. Which of you do I like less? Probably... the one that can ping us. I could have put a counter on the flyer, but it can't block anyway. I mean, it's worth thinking about for sure, but I feel like this works pretty well. So we get to draw a card here. Oh yeah, our taxidermist also just bulked up. That's good news. Okay, so I think we block with the bulked up taxidermist and a 1/1 here. Ouch. Okay. Maybe I should have counted on that. But the fact they hadn't had one so far had me sort of confident they didn't have one, but... Okay. Well... I really hate that they have Child of the Pack over there. That's not good for us. We'll attack. Yeah, starting to get blood's going to be big. We can play our Hunter here and gain 6. The bad news for us is, yeah, they can start churning out all these wolf tokens. We'll be sacking our blood, obviously enough. So I guess they probably just use that twice here. Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. So we attack with our forebear again. We sack the blood. Okay, we got bleed dry. It's a question of whether I want to use it now or later. It could really mess up their attacks if I wait, but there's also a chance they could have... There's not that much they could have that breaks us, is the good news. So I guess we pass and hope that they attack in such a way that we can take advantage of killing the effect that's pumping their whole board. I think that seems reasonable. They can't make more tokens right now because this is going to be on this side. So, yeah, we didn't play 2 spells, right? No. So, yeah, it's still going to be on that side. So they can't make more tokens is the good news. Yeah, we have all 3 of our bleed dries left. Is that right? Yeah, we have all 3 left in our deck, which is good. It's good to have that left. So if they're about to use Wolf Strike, I may have to kill something else with bleed dry, but we'll see. No attacks at all, huh? So I think that means we just kill the pack mate here. Gonna crack in with our forebear. Yep, there's another bleed dry. I think we'd rather play the Mariner though, and hold on to the bleed dry for later, because yeah. Okay. All right. We out werewolf the werewolf deck. Take that. Yeah, you know, I was a little worried about our deck when we looked at it and we didn't have as much synergy as I wanted, but it's like we have just enough wolf and just enough toughness synergy that our deck's been doing some pretty nice stuff. Plus, you know, the 3 bleed dries are, you know, that's going to make any deck way better. So... I attacked with the forebear every turn, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. It just wasn't tapped because it had vigilance, which was very useless on a 3-1 that couldn't block, but... So, we do have that combat damage by toughness card, we just haven't seen it. So this hand's pretty good. I mean, I would like a little better early plays, but having 2 bleed dries in the opening hand is also really good. Thank you for the sub, Big Butta. I feel like you've been a subscriber / follower for a long time. So, yeah, we want to play the Disciple here, because next turn we can play the Dissenter, and it'll attack as a 3/3. Yeah. That's pretty cool. I have been a little impressed with this card. I think I gave it a D+, and it feels more like a C- overall. Them playing Arc School of Thraben makes me very sad, because I don't really want to attack into it. I mean, maybe I do. Turning off that ability as soon as possible isn't a bad idea. Player Dissenter here. If they end up drawing a card off of it, it's not going to feel very good, but I think we go for it. Good chance they just take it, I guess. I mean... yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, I don't love it. But getting rid of problematic creatures without using Bleed Dry in the early game works for me. Doesn't look like they revealed a zombie, thank God. They're just trying to decide whether to leave it on top or put it in their graveyard. The Entomber can rumble here, so... I guess it probably does. Unless they want to draw a card with it. Wow, so we've got all our Bleed Dries. Don't hate it. But, you know... It was funny in that last game, they didn't show up until like the very end of the game, and this game they're like, we're all here for you. You don't have any creatures, but you'll be able to kill anything they play, so. Okay. You know, Bleed Dry does get a little worse when your opponent's making one-for-one trades, like Impossible. No attacks, huh? I mean, I think we're okay with that. Selhoff and Tumor's probably going to discard something and draw them. Oh, okay, maybe not. Yeah, I'm probably going to want to kill that. See what they do first, of course. Wow. Interesting to run Blood Servitor in a blue-black deck. They may have some really good blood payoff, like the 2/1 flyer. It gets crazy. So, technically killing Gluttonous Guest doesn't kill a creature. So the farmer won't transform. Because it gets exiled. Trying to decide if it's worth it. I'm not sure it really is. It depends, obviously, on what they have. If they have a way to, like, tie together... If they have, like, life gain payoffs in this deck, getting rid of Gluttonous Guest is kind of a good idea. If they don't, it's less true. Yeah... They could have Syncopate for 1 here, which would be pretty... Oh, we can pay for it. Syncopate for 1's not a big deal. Yeah, so let's Bleed Dry the Guest. Wow. All the lands and all the... So the bad news is, I'm guessing their deck has a better late game than we do. So the fact that we haven't really done anything other than, you know, play a Doom Dissenter and Bleed Dry might not be great for us. And they have, like, nice exploit value already. Yeah, so they're going to drain us for 2 here. I'm fascinated by their unwillingness to attack me. This game is funny. It's nice. I mean, we're not in complete disaster mode, even though we're flooding out hardcore, because we still have 2 bleed dries in our hand. But it's not good. That's for sure. Okay, so this is kind of funny because obviously if we sack our Dissenter, we just get a 2/2 out of it, so we're perfectly fine doing it. That does transform their farmer, but we can kill it if we want to. And we probably want to. Yeah. So yeah, we'll bleed dry the Depraved Harvester here. And take the other 2. Look, another card. Not an especially good one on this situation, but it is a card. See you later, taxidermist. Alright, so we're going to bleed dry the Gargantua here. This time they could have Syncopate, but... So we take 2. Oh my gosh. Of course, also not great against the Death Toucher, but it's our realest creature we've drawn in a very long time. So I can live with it. Man, they have the goods. Their deck is sweet. If we had a fast start like we've had against some opponents, I think we really would have done pretty well, but I guess they'd also have a bunch of creatures on the table that we hadn't killed. So it's probably similar. They've got 7 mana, which, you know, we have even more, but we don't have anything to do with it. So Flourishing Hunter or something would be good. I mean, this having Death Touch is a real pain. I kind of hope they attack us again. Oh my god. Okay. This is going to be a tough one to win now. Gets a little easier if they decide to do that instead of make a vampire, but...
Dire times call for dire tactics.
I guess we don't have a great shot at getting through to Sorin because of that Diagraph Scavenger. Well, there's a Flourishing Hunter. So... does that make this attack worth it? So they'll block my Sharpshooter and kill it. But we'll drop Sorin down to 3 loyalty. Their creature will still be alive. I just don't think it's worth it, unfortunately. I think we just play Flourishing Hunter and pass, which is not what you want to do in this situation. I should have played this land in case to have Syncopate, but... seems decent. Oh, it looks like I don't have Cardboard Live open, so it's probably why it's not working. I thought I opened it. But I didn't. Now it's open. It should work now. Maybe you have to refresh or something. No, but yeah, Sorin, you know, he's very good, unfortunately for us. Oh, good. They got a bleed dry.
Blood for knowledge. A fair trade.
We're probably just gonna need to scoop to save ourselves some time here, because I don't think we have any way to beat Sorin, like on this board state. Yeah, Hero's Downfall would be good here, that's for sure. We don't have one though. We never saw one either. But I think you're saying that because I believe in Bleed Dry over Hero's Downfall in this format for the most part. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can't beat it. I mean, they have 2 Death Touchers and a Persistent Specimen. They can just block this with the Specimen, get the Specimen back, kill both of our other attackers, keep ticking him up, and then kill us. We've used up all our Bleed Dries, of course. So yeah, we'll just scoop. There's not a way out of this. Not for us. Yeah, so I mean, our draw wasn't good, it's true, but then they played Sorin and we had like no board presence, and it was like, well, can't do much about that. Maybe if they hadn't also gotten a Bleed Dry and hadn't also played 2 Death Touchers, we'd have a chance, but all right, this looks pretty good to me. This might be a turn 2 where we just pump our wolf. Which isn't a terrible turn 2. Hey, our Lumberknot hasn't shown up yet today. There it is. So, am I concerned enough about Traveling Minister to just slap Gift of Fangs on it? It is pretty darn good. So I'm probably going to. Let's attack with our wolf. On the off chance they decide to block it or something. I mean, there's basically no way, but yeah. So we'll just Gift of Fangs it. So if we can go Sharpshooter Lumberknot, that's going to feel pretty good. I do think just attacking here is worth it, though. If they just want to block, we'll pump our guy. They do get a 2-2, so it's not amazing. Okay, they don't block. So we'll play our Sharpshooter here. So Lumberknot will let it attack as a 4-4, effectively, which is cool. They're black-white, so I'm really glad I got rid of the Minister. That's the deck that can really abuse it. I mean, it's really good in green-white and red-white, too, but that's annoying. So I could attack with both here, pump this, so that this trains to a 2-5. I could also just play the Lumberknot and attack with it as a 4-4. They can double block it. The problem is they get value out of both of those things. They're not super likely to get a zombie on top. So I have to pump it before I attack. Yeah, that's how it works. That may just be our best move, but it sort of feels like adding to our board. I think adding to our board and attacking is probably just better, though. I think that's what we do. We play our Lumberknot here. We'll attack with our Sharpshooter. They can double block it. But yeah, I'm okay with it. They get a 2-2, and hopefully just a Surveil and not a whole card. If they draw a whole card, that's not going to feel good. They do not, so that's good news. They just got the Surveil, which the Surveil's pretty good, but Lumberknot technically doesn't make it a 4-4. It shows it that way so people aren't confused, but it technically doesn't make it a 4-4. It's still a 1-4, but its toughness is what counts for damage. So this would still train it, or it should, unless there's some sort of glitch. Yeah. So we're just going to play Hook Hand Mariner and end our turn here. So in terms of training, you know, for the sharpshooter, it would still get trained by anything with 2 power. Okay, well, they have multiple Archghouls with Raven, apparently. Interesting. So I could set up an attack here. I could attack here and use Bleed Dry if they double block. Or triple block. I mean, either of those I think is pretty appealing. This does let them surveil again, which is less appealing. Yeah, it's funny because I think they show it as a 4/4 in combat, so to help people, but yeah, it will confuse people too. I could also just pass. Then they don't have anything that can, well, that can block it, but I could kill it. But maybe just playing another sharpshooter is better. Yeah, it probably is. Let's play another sharpshooter for now. End our turn. The Phalanx is obviously going to be awesome, but we don't have the mana for it yet. And it's super slow, so I'm not really planning on playing it unless I don't have anything better to do. Like, playing Bleed Dry will probably be better, but we'll see. Okay. So I think we give up our Wolf to that. Why isn't it asking me to sacrifice? There we go. Yeah, we give up our Wolf. So they surveilled and left the card on top again. Okay, so now I think we do attack. I'm thinking about swinging with all 3 and then holding up Bleed Dry to mess something up here. Yeah, that seems pretty good. So I think we Bleed Dry the Ancestor if it is part of a double block. Yeah, so I think we let this happen, and I think we Bleed Dry the Ancestor. So they do get a couple triggers. Wow, every surveil they've left the card on top, which has been less than ideal for us, I think. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's a problem. It's a little slow, but it's going to churn out a creature token every turn. That's pretty gross. I think we lose with the Phalanx in our hand. I think we lose the Sharpshooter. It gets exiled after that, at least. Yes? Good. So we attack them for 4 here. And now they have to have something or this Phalanx kills them. Although, no matter what, they're going to have something in the sense that they can reanimate a creature. It'll only be a 1/1. But, yeah. Yeah, this is a problem, though. It's very powerful. Getting back Doom Dissenter, for example, is pretty obnoxious. Yeah, so now they can get 2 things. We're still in pretty great shape here. We still have 2 Bleed Dries in our deck. And that's going to make a huge difference on one of these turns if we draw it. Yeah, so they went with the Dissenter, which is pretty gross. I think that pretty much means we just attack with Phalanx here. I'm sure they just block with the 1/1 and get a 2/2. Oh, you know what? I should have attacked with both. If I attacked with both, they still had to block this, so that was not good. Not good. Should have attacked with both. They would have gone... Yeah, they would have had to block ugly. Okay. Ooh. Too bad you don't have haste. There's still not really much of a chance they have of killing our unhallowed phalanx. So yeah, we play catapult fodder here. We go to combat. So I think we attack with phalanx. I mean, maybe we don't, because if we do, they get some triggers and stuff, but... The only downside is if we don't get to untap with our catapult captain in play and our unhallowed phalanx, we're in trouble. But there's not any card that can kill our phalanx that wouldn't already be able to kill it whether or not it's tapped. So is it an unnecessary risk to attack with our phalanx? Especially because we could set up a surveil that draws them into a removal spell. It probably is. Yeah. I think we pass just to be cautious here and end our turn. Let's hope that works out for us. I'm going to regret it, I guess, if they have removal. But hopefully they don't. Surprised they didn't use their blood. Ah, crap. It's catapult captain going down here. I think we may lose if they can take out the catapult captain. That's promising. Go to 9. That's not 13. Alright, we got there. I made one suboptimal attack, but we're still gonna win, luckily. We got to live the dream. You know, earlier we didn't get our mana for our Flourishing Hunter to gain 13, but I can live with that. I can live with getting to launch it at our launch a 13 toughness creature at our opponent. Plus, we got to do lumber knot stuff with it that game too. I'm glad that that stupid attack of mine didn't come back to hurt me. Pretty good hand. We don't have super early plays, but we can negate one of theirs. So, I can live with that. Yeah. It's going to be especially awkward to play Dormant Grove if you don't have a creature. But, okay, we will, luckily. I was going to say, there's a reasonable chance we draw one that we can play. Uh-oh, is our Gift of Fangs going to be blank again? It's looking that way. Although in that last game, I guess it helped us win in the end because we ended up having, yeah. So I probably play the Outcast before anything else. They could have a Braid here, which would not make me very happy. So I think we play Outcast turn 4 while we have another Wolf in play, if they let us. Looks like they will. So, yeah, I think just to be safe, we're going to play Outcast first. And then attack with Oakshade Stalker. Because if we'd attacked and it died, which isn't super likely, but it would have been pretty brutal. I can kill this with my Gift of Fangs, which is nice. I think we just take 4. So it takes until they're in step. So yeah, I think we definitely want to do that. I think we go Gift of Fangs on Ragged Recluse. It won't transform in time. Then we play Dormant Grove. I'm thinking maybe I just try to race them here. Doesn't seem like a terrible plan with the size we have. Yeah, the 5/4 can attack past Bolt. It's true. The only good news is, like, even if we do attack with this and they bolt it, we're still getting a 2-for-1. So I don't feel really broken up about it. So I may still attack with both, but we get to hold on to our bigger creature. Yeah. I think we attack with both. If they want to bolt, they can bolt. Yeah. So there's the bolt. Those kill each other. They go to 11. I can transform this into a creature next turn that can attack right away if I want to. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. That's 8, right? Yeah. So, yeah. I think we want to transform this. We're gonna need the extra body. So, yeah, I think we go to combat. Do that. Attack them for 10. And I think we have to play the creature that comes into play untapped, just to be safe, where it's 6. So, yeah. This is where Phalanx is not very good. Like, when you're in a tight game like this, it's very difficult for the Phalanx to look good. If I had more life, I mean, if I had just a few more life, I definitely would have played the Phalanx instead, but obviously that's not how it worked out. Okay. Do I just pass my turn for the transformation? Probably not. I think playing the Phalanx is pretty good here now. I mean, we're stable enough that it'll untap and be a good blocker, and if we ever draw our little combo pieces, we'll be in really good shape. I don't think we can really attack here that effectively. I mean, it could swing with both of these. God, maybe that's just what I do. They get a bunch of blood. It's hard for them to kill both. I could even swing out because these don't have first strike and I have vigilance. So I think maybe I just swing out here, huh? Yeah, I think we just swing out here. There's a chance they have something, but I think this is the right play. Yeah, they have to block in not ideal ways. They could have a trick or a burn spell. No, they don't have it. Yeah, so that's great. Then we play our Phalanx. Comes into play tapped, unfortunately. However, we're in pretty good shape. They do have a bunch of blood, so they can dig for whatever it is they need. The fact they're discarding non-lands is good news for us, though. It means they don't have whatever it is right now to beat us. Whatever it is they need. Nice. This thing has been a house, the Grove Strider. You know, I thought, you know, looking at it, I was like, most of the value is going to come from the +1/+1 counters, but we've had multiple turns where transforming it quickly, giving us a body and all of that was pretty huge. Like, it really helped us stabilize with the huge body, and the Vigilance just does such a good job. When you give it to your whole board, it just destroys races for your opponent, because you're like, I can still attack as aggressively as possible without all of the risks of doing so. Okay. We've been kind of lucky that our Gift of Fangs hasn't, well, bitten us more. I mean, yeah. Well, I didn't say it wasn't very good. I said it wasn't that well supported, and I still think that's true. This deck isn't really like an all-in big toughness deck. It's like a black-green deck with two different synergistic themes. One of them is werewolves, and one of them is toughness. But we have like 3 toughness payoffs. I don't really feel like you can call it a toughness deck. We're just like a black-green good stuff kind of deck. With, yes, we have some synergy, but yeah. It's not an overwhelming aspect of our deck. Well, if I knew I was going to draw another swamp. Well, yeah, here's where Gift of Fangs. We're up against another opponent where Gift of Fangs might be bad. We do have a creature who's a great blocker for these things, at least. Player Mariner. Okay. Pass our turn and leave out Bleed Dry. If I draw land next turn, I can grow this and attack with both and still leave up Bleed Dry. I think I'd probably Bleed Dry the Socialite here. So we did do that. Yeah, I like the sound of what... I think we do this. Attack. We could break up a double block with Bleed Dry. I don't know if I want to, but maybe I do. Yeah, we'll just get the attack in. Hold on to Bleed Dry. Our werewolf transforms, it just doesn't matter. We don't really have a way to take advantage of it in this deck either. Ooh, that's gross. That's a lot of blood. Yeah. It's not the most efficient removal spell in that situation, but it does the job. I don't think we use Bleed Dry on either of these. I think the moment they play something we can put Gift of Fangs on, we're going to be pretty ecstatic. Oh, if they have another removal, we are... Yeah, we're in trouble. So I think we just take the 4. I think for now we just need to hold on to the Bleed Dry and hope we draw well. I mean, that's not... Oh my god. Oh no! So it finally did. I jinxed us. I said, it's surprising we, against all the vampire decks, we haven't had more problems, but here we are having problems. Glad I can kill that, I guess, but... So we gotta draw a blocker here. Otherwise, I'm gonna put both my Gift of Fangs on their Celebrants. Okay. That'll keep us alive for now. Even if we don't get to make our joke by playing Gift of Fangs on their Celebrants. They may kill us here anyway, and then we don't get to play our joke card here. I don't know. I'm guessing they're probably splashing more than Imprisonment. I don't know why you would splash Imprisonment when you have Hero's Downfall, like, you know? So... obviously, we have to block. We go to 2. Yeah, splashing Edgar is very likely. Wow, that's funny. So we're like really dead. Why couldn't you have ever played a non-vampire? Okay, we're gonna do it. You know, we had another game where one was trapped in our hand the whole time and we won anyway, but in that game, yeah, it definitely came back to bite us. Hi, Leaf. Yeah, this deck is pretty fun. Good games. Good game. It was only one game. We're in best of 1. See if we can do better than 5 and 3, though. That would be good. If we draw a land, this hand is kind of okay, but we still have 2 Flourishing Hunters in our opening hand. We do not want that. I think we have to mulligan. Yeah. Yeah. This hand's not great. However, it's okay. Let's hope we're not up against another vampire opponent. I think I throw the Disciple away. It's an early play, but we're not ultra desperate for them in this particular hand. So I think I'd rather hold on to like one of our better synergy cards and our bleed dry. Aha. Now I kind of wish I had that 2-drop, but it was definitely a better 2-drop than this one is in this deck, so... I think we block the Specimen if it attacks us. I mean, I know it comes back later, but because we get a 2/2 out of the deal, I don't think I care. It also derails their, like, exploit shenanigans, potential exploit shenanigans. So, okay, well, that works. Ooh. If we can just get this going and they don't have removal, it can just win us the game on its own. It did win us one game, not on turn 3. It showed up late on a stalled out board and gave us the victory. It's so nice that they finally made this ability so that it doesn't hurt your creatures that have... it doesn't hurt your creatures that have high toughness. I mean, high power and lower toughness. Similar abilities like this in the past, they shaft you if you're playing creatures that have... higher power. In this deck, it just doesn't do anything for them. So it's interesting here. I could put Gift of Fangs on our Falconwrath Forebearer and attack. I think maybe just attacking with it and discarding our Phalanx to the blood is probably better, though. I mean, I could try to go all in, but because our opponent's not like an all-in vampire deck, I'm sure we'll have a target for our gift. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and do this now. Okay, that's actually going to be pretty good in this situation. Better than an Unhallowed Phalanx. Not, you know, the end of the world. It kind of did what we needed it to. Let's just hope they don't have more removal, because we need a fourth land, fourth mana really desperately right now. Morning, Punt Master. Every time I see your username, I think it should probably be my username. Ooh, I'm glad I have Bleed Dry, because that is not good. Yeah, so we take 4. And then we Bleed Dry it on our turn, which I don't love. I mean, we're not doing anything else with it, but... You know, another reason Bleed Dry is good, incidentally, is... the black trick that's like when your creature dies, it comes back. Doesn't work against Bleed Dry, and that's like a real card in this format. Nice. So... Yeah, we can actually leave our Weaver untapped, but yeah, we just fire off the Bleed Dry right here. I wouldn't mind our opponent using that card because it would just give us a 2-for-1. It's not intuitive that that's how it works, so it wouldn't surprise me if that happened, but yeah. All right, pass the turn. Do I want to play my Lumberknot or Dormant Grove more? I guess I probably want to play the Lumberknot. Some exploiting is going to happen here. Or maybe not. So they can get creatures back, but they don't have any in there just yet. Maybe now I just want to play the Mariner. I guess the Lumberknot is basically the... I mean, they both have upside, but the Lumberknots is a little more immediate. This is very unlikely to transform next turn. And even if there is a transformation, this will become a 4-4. So yeah, I think we play Lumberknot first. We could play the Grove. There might be something to that. Play the Grove and just start buffing our creatures. We have the time to do it. You know what? I think I like that. It means next turn we can play Ancient Lumberknot and attack with our Weaver. Probably. There are a lot of persistent specimens. This transformed is going to be pretty good. Should we ever get there. Okay. So, yeah, I think we play our Lumberknot here. Put the counter here. The reason I want to put it there is I'd rather it die, like to a Bleed Dry in response or something, than the Lumberknot. Right now. I'm sure they just block with the Specimen, but I think it's worthwhile. Like, making them have to do these things with their mana is worthwhile. So, yeah. It's not like they can attack back or anything, so I'm mostly just sort of putting them in situations where if they don't have Specimen mana, you know, if they're not leaving mana up for their Specimens, they might be in trouble. I could Bleed Dry one of them at some point, but that seems unnecessary, especially because our opponent is likely to have some crazy bomb. Aww. Look at them rumble. Lumberknot is gone, but it's not the end of the world for us. I think making sure we have the Mariner is a little bit better. I don't actually want to transform this yet, so I think I play the Mariner. now and put the counter on it. Next turn, it's almost definitely going to transform. You know, just in case our opponent has the discard spell, I'm going to hold on to this swamp because I really don't want to end up discarding both of these. And we don't really have a great reason to play our other land anyway. Yeah, they've got a lot of blood. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we play our Outcast now. We put the counter on it again. And attack with our Weaver. I guess we're going to hold on to this land for the same reason we've done so far. I guess it's unlikely they end up in a situation where they can't just play at least one spell because of all their blood. Like, even if they're flooding out, they can just chuck lands away. I mean, I guess they run out of hands, but... Mulch. Okay. I don't hate that they milled their own Dormant Grove. I can tell you that much. I'm down with that. I guess when you have blood, mulch gets kind of interesting. I never really thought about it that way. But it does. Did they not play a spell? No, they did. Okay. So, we're going to do the same thing we've been doing, which is play this and put a counter on it. And then attack with these two. That's 10 coming their way. Good chance they just take it, I guess. They have the ability to gain a significant amount of life, so, yeah. Every turn has kind of gone the same here. We've drawn a creature, put a counter on it, held on to a land in our hand, which has been pretty nice. Like, if we can keep doing that, we're going to be in business. It is unfortunate that if I want things to transform, I probably have to do it myself. And I guess if I end up not drawing a creature, we'll just end up doing it because it'll make sense. I think Wolfkin Outcast is about to die, though. Sure feels that way. Yeah. All right. Okay. I can kill that with my Gift of Fangs. Of course, they can get it back later. So we could play our Hunter here. But... I don't think I do. I do think we put the counter here. Yeah. Let's put the counter here. So, I do think we play this land. You know, if our Weaver dies, yeah. We're in a place now where we want to play it. Our opponent still has 16 cards, which is plenty. I do get to transform these boys, which is good by doing that. Okay. We might be able to win the game here. So they're going to go to 7. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to win here. They go to 7. They draw 2, of course, but I can kill the guest at the end of their turn and then kill the stinger with our Gift of Fangs. You can also turn this into a creature. So I think we're in pretty good shape. They may double spell here still. Ooh, I do like the Edgar's Awakening combos. It's not that great for them here, but yeah, so we go ahead and bleed dry the guest. Then we Gift of Fangs the stinger. Nice. All right, so this will be our last game with this deck, one way or another, win or lose. We're at 6-2. So, I do think we can keep this. We just need a third land to get it going. You know, having Evolving Wilds instead of a Forest in the opening hand is a little brutal, but I can live with it. So we do need to draw a third land pretty desperately, and a fourth would be even better. Okay, I don't love Gift of Fangs on Twin Blade Geist, but it may be what we do here anyway. We'll attack first. I'm sure they take it. Yeah, then we're gonna Gift of Fangs. We have to buy ourselves some time, and I think that's a decent way to do it. If we can hit a third and fourth land, we'll be in business, obviously enough. Well, crap. Alright, so we're going to attack. We're going to do that. End our turn. Yep, that's pretty good. Resistance Squad is a nice little card. Oof. Well, I don't think we have much of a chance here. I mean, I guess if we hit a third land, we could still catch up, but they can give this thing double strike now. And we're not anywhere close to bleed dry mana, so oh god. This is not looking good. Okay, okay. We're going to take a big hit because Distracting Geist is going to tap one of our blockers. But I think we play the Sharpshooter here. Yeah, that doesn't feel good. Do I want to trade with the escort? I don't hate that plan. I think we do. Then we take 7. Okay, okay. We might get out of this. Yeah, he's stuck at 3. That has definitely helped us. The question is whether I just want to bleed dry that Geist outright or play our sharpshooter so I can add to the board. It feels like just using bleed dry on the Geist is worth it. It even gets around indestructibility and stuff. Well, I should use it before they attack anyway, actually. So yeah, we're just going to bleed dry the Geist now. And end our turn. Getting rid of the Geist entirely is a big deal. We definitely block if they attack us. We're okay with trading for a trick. We've got a lot more gas in our hand, so if they want to use a trick here to kill our sharpshooter, it's not going to hurt our feelings too much. Yeah, I think we play our own Mariner. End our turn. That Geist just hit so hard, I don't think we could really afford to add to the board instead. Uh-oh. That hits our sharpshooter. Yeah. Okay. I can live with it. Interesting. I think we take the trade. I mean, it would be nice to play our Outcast this turn. They could have the trample trick, I guess. And if they do, we're really getting blown out here. The +2/+2 trample trick is devastating. They have 5 cards. It's reasonably likely, unfortunately, for us. But if it doesn't burn us now, it's going to burn us later. Because we're going to have to be blocking and stuff. I mean, it's going to get us at some point if they have it. So I may as well block now and hope they don't. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. Because I have to keep playing things. I can't leave up bleed dry and hope that saves me. So we're just going to block. Okay. That worked out all right. Okay. I think Taxidermist Disciple is actually pretty good here. Yeah. If they can grow their pack leader, I'm not going to be very happy, but hopefully they can't. They do have 4 mana, and they're in green-white. Oh, man. That's pretty devastating. So, do I triple block the pack leader? Double block, sorry. Double block the pack leader. I think maybe I do, and then I bleed dry the paladin. I mean, it's just going to keep getting bigger, and this ability's a problem. So, yeah. I think we double block there. I have 2 creatures in my graveyard? Yeah, so it wouldn't become big enough. So, yeah, I think we block. Take the 3. Yeah, I think we have to pass and hold up bleed dry here and hope they, like, try to put a counter on something so I can get some extra value. If they have Angelic Quartermaster here, that's pretty much game. Alright. So let's bleed dry the Paladin. A 5th land would be good just because it would let us play... Uh-oh. So there's the 5th land. Is it nighttime? It is nighttime. So I can flash this in as a 6-2. 6-3. To block the cadet. That's not terrible. It's not good either. It's probably just better to play it the normal way and play Doom Dissenter. But that will also untransform it. Awkward. I think we still do it. Because we can... Yeah. I think we still do it. Unfortunately. I think it was better to do that than to, like, not play anything and then flash this in. So they attack here, they draw a card. Ugh. I think we block Resistance Squad. And hope they don't have a trick. We're pretty much out of this game already. Like, our opponent has so much gas. I think you're too slow, buddy. We're not dead yet, but yeah. I couldn't Doom Dissenter and Flash, so that wouldn't have been the proper move. If I flash it, it costs more mana, so there was no way for us to do it. Okay. That means we're pretty much dead. We're not completely dead. Yeah, we are, actually. Yeah. That did not go well. We had a very slow start and could never overcome it, really. But that's okay. We went 6-3 with the deck. It was fun. We got to win with werewolves. We got to win with toughness. I'll take it. I will take it. Yeah, if you could just always flash that thing in for 3 mana, that would be pretty absurd. Mostly just because of the... I mean, it wouldn't be that great. It would be really good, but it would be not broken in if it only had the front side, but the second side would be absurd for 3 mana.